would you please welcome a mom, 3 daughters, single mom, who used Lionheart a few years ago to tell a bit of her story. Welcome to the stage with me, would you, Jamie Godin. Come on up here, Jamie.
Wow, I love seeing all these faces here. My heart's racing, so please bear with me. I'm honored to share my story, and I'm grateful to see all you guys here in support of this. In August 2022, my youngest daughter told me that she was seeing stars every time she would stand up and sit down. So we took her to the Children's Hospital to see what was going on, only to find out she was diagnosed with anorexia nervosa. Her heart was compromised. Her hair was falling out. She became very weak because of the nutrients that she wasn't feeding her body. Her kidneys were being affected and starting to fail. This was a diagnosis I never in a million years thought that we would ever have to face. I am a single mom to 3 beautiful daughters. I consciously made an effort as they were growing up to never look in the mirror and say, I hate my body, I look fat, I don't like this, or I don't like that. Because I never wanted to have my girls hear me say that and it become part of their own self-talk and their own body image. My daughter is very athletic. She loves to play soccer. She was a figure skater. And we had just enrolled her into our 3rd season of Ringette for the fall when we received this diagnosis. The doctor advised us that we need to withdraw her as stepping foot on the ice would actually cause an increase in cardiac arrest. It was her passion. It was a major part of our lives. We spent weekends at the rink. She resented me for pulling her and blamed me for taking this passion away from her. I'm not sure how many single parents we have here today in the room, but some of you may know that when our children lash out to the parent that they feel safe with, they inadvertently share their fears and their feelings with that parent. I understood that I was her safe parent and that I would take the volatile mood swings that comes with a normal teenager, but times that by 10 when they're not feeding their body properly the nutrients that they need to survive. During the time at hospital, I was desperately looking for information on what to say, what not to say, what to do, what not to do, with someone that is facing this eating disorder. This was something that was so new to us, and I didn't want any of her friends, our family members, or people around us say something to her that could potentially cause more of a tailspin. I come from an Italian family, so my mom would come to the hospital and visit and say, just eat! And I'm like, stop. My mother-in-law would come and she would say, oh, I had this fat friend. And I'm just like, what are you saying? My daughter's friends were trying to be helpful, but some of their comments were always based on Shiloh's external beauty. And this was an image that she had distorted in her own eyes. Everything was running through my mind. I just wanted to protect her so much. But fear overcame me. Fear of not knowing what to do. Fear of losing my daughter or having lifelong implications on her body with the damage from the malnutrition. Fear that she will hate me forever. Fear that I was part of the problem. Fear of not knowing what to say. Fear of what others would say to her. Fear of what she's hiding from me. Fear that in our cure for anorexia, we would then in turn cause bulimia. This was a nightmare that we are thankfully out of. She is in recovery, and it was a battle that was more intense than you can ever imagine, and one that many are facing today. Once discharged from the hospital, we were advised that we should put our daughter into the day program outpatient at the hospital. This program is where they would bring their schoolwork to the hospital and get some group therapy and help while she was there. I was desperately wanting to get the help that she needed, so we took their advice. This day program almost made things worse because she would start meeting friends that would talk about the tips and the tricks of what they would do when they had to go to weigh-ins, like adding shampoo bottles in their socks. Every time that we would go for our weigh-ins, my daughter would drink copious and copious amounts of water, to the point that if the doctors were running late, she would sit in the waiting room with tears welling in her eyes because she felt the pain of her full bladder. She hated me every day that I dropped her off and picked her up, and she was just miserable. The dietitians kept telling us that we needed to put more and more food on her plate, and that only caused her to lash out more, because this was the exact fear that she had, that she would get overcome with this emotion at every glance at that plate. She would sneak in excessive exercise to counter all the food that she was being forced to eat, which was really just normal amounts. But at that point, she ran away at one point. She stormed out of the house. I didn't know where she was going or what she was going to do. I didn't even see which direction she went, only to find out later that she would hide near the house, watch me jump on my bike, and proceed to go all around the community looking for my daughter, desperately trying to help her because I knew she was struggling so bad and I didn't want her to struggle on her own. The Children's had provided the counseling, but the appointments were few and far between. The system is broken. It is overloaded. All I wanted to do was to get to the root cause. Why was she having this distorted image of herself? Why couldn't she love herself and her body? Why is she doing what she's doing to herself? Could she not see the damage that's being done? A couple of sessions into our therapy and counseling, we were presented with medications that we could put her on. But my question was, why would we just jump to the meds when she hadn't received the therapy that she needed? Don't get me wrong, there is a time and place for meds. I'm not saying that. I just felt like it was a Band-Aid solution that we were quickly jumping to. This is when I started to frantically look for a better solution that had to be outside of the system. This is where I found out about the Lionheart Foundation. Lionheart Foundation helping children and youth facing the problems that we were being challenged with. It was by word of mouth that we were told to reach out. Did you know that the average cost of therapy is $260 an hour? If she were just to have one weekly paid session, that means as a single mom, I would have to come up with $1,040 a month just to have 4 consecutive meetings in 1 month to get her the help that she needed. This would be on top of my mortgage, my property tax, my heating bills, my gas bills, my phone bills, my grocery costs that have now increased significantly because now I had to buy all the costly box filler food so she could have these snacks, along with meeting the needs of my other 2 daughters that I have at home. As much as I wish to help her with all my heart and provide this extra $1,000 a month, I just couldn't do it. When I contacted the Lionheart, they told me that they have a prorated service that goes on a sliding scale based on your taxes that are submitted. This is when all my hope came back. I knew this was going to help my daughter get the help that she needed, because this was the support that I needed. Over several weekly sessions, I noticed some big improvements with my daughter. Our communications and connections started to improve, and she gained the tools that she needed to help her get through her days. I asked my daughter the other day, what was it? What was it that made the difference between the Children's Hospital and the help that she got from the Lionheart Foundation? To which she responded, my therapy was not all about food like it was at the Children's. She said everything at the Children's was so focused on food, and Lionheart asked me about all the other things that was going on in my life. The Lionheart Foundation was an immense and massive help to our lives. our therapist, who's in the room today, meshed with my daughter so well, and I'm forever grateful for her. She could relate to my daughter, she listened, and the connection with her has left an impact on her life. This connection has left me forever grateful for the Lionheart Foundation and what Lionheart has done in my life and in my daughter's life. Today, I am filled with gratitude in seeing all these people in this room who are helping raise funds for this wonderful organization. Statistics show more and more families are going to be impacted by this. More and more people are going through this right now, not knowing what to do. Children need help. The system needs help. I am forever grateful for the help that we got so that she can be in the recovery. So your support will help new families receive this help. My daughter she didn't go to school at all for her entire grade 8 year. Now she's in grade 10, and she's so excited because she wants to be a marine biologist and live in Hawaii. Some days it's hit and miss if she even goes to school. I just leave it up to her if she's capable of handling it or not, because I am grateful that she is here, because we lived through this nightmare that could have taken her life. Anorexia nervosa takes lives. Anorexia nervosa has lifelong health implications. The challenges our kids face today with all the airbrushed images and the "oh, I'm so happy" pictures that are being posted online, when in reality that could be, but it also could be portrayed better than it truly is. These are the things that our kids are comparing themselves to today. All of this to say that this whole story started with her seeing stars, but now she's able to be excited and she's reaching for the stars, to be following her passions and to be doing what excites her. And for this, I'm grateful. Thank you for having me.
Wow.